Well, that was a tough evening.
Yeah, it was a tough evening. Primarily it was about our discipline, or our lack of discipline, quite frankly. We didn't control the game for any length of time, neither did they, I don't suppose. Territory was all important and field position, particularly in the conditions, because it was difficult to play rugby. But when we had opportunities and when we started to put pressure on them, our discipline let us down, and we let them exit difficult areas far too easily.
There seemed to be a lot of difficulty for Gloucester at scrum time.
Yes, we're really not happy with where we are at the scrum at the moment. There's a lot of pressure on us there, and consequently, when that happens, you're not in control of large parts of the game, and there was a lot of obviously infringements at the scrum as well.
You've mentioned a lot, Nigel, this season about the idea of the grit and determination of the Gloucester side. Well, there was plenty of grit shown this evening.
Yeah, I mean, we take that for granted now, and so we should really. When they put that shirt on, it should mean everything to them, and they kept battling like they always do. The trouble is, we just weren't smart enough, and some of the penalty count was horrendous. It's completely unacceptable, and it makes a difference between winning and losing games. We know for a fact that when we keep the penalty count down to 10 or less, we win games.
And you'll have monitored the way the game flowed. Did that penalty count have the effect in the second part of the first half? Because Gloucester seemed to come back into the game strongly at that phase.
Yeah, it did it right throughout, really. As soon as we got any sort of momentum, we'd get them in the right areas, we put pressure on them, and we just leave them exit far too easily, so it wasn't difficult enough for them to get away from difficult areas. And we need to be able to pressurise teams for longer than we are right now.
So patience is a big thing sometimes.
Well, patience, we've got to be smart as well. The laws are there for everybody to see. Particularly when you come away from home, you're not going to get the 50-50 calls. So you have to be whiter than white. And far too many of my players today just indisciplined. And that's cost us the game ultimately. I'm not saying that we were in control of this game, but we were in the fight and we were in the battle right till the death. And if we'd have kept our discipline better than we had, we would probably come away with a result.
So it's a question of, because we saw plenty of tenacity and players who stood up and really stood nose to nose, but it's keeping the cool head and keeping that fight in the game at the same time.
Yeah, it is, very much so, and it's very difficult to put that tenacity into a team. That's very intrinsic within the group or within the individuals, and I think we've got that. So that's a huge positive, but on the flip side of that, we can't keep on harking back to that. We have to be able to control games for longer periods. A lot of that comes down to our set piece, and we have to be able to put pressure on teams and not take pressure off ourselves, and a lot of that is our discipline.
Mentally as well, like a lot of cherry and white supporters around the ground, were you thinking, do you know what, there's a chance we're going to sneak this at the end?
Yeah, absolutely. We were, but as I said, as soon as we got any sort of field position, we'd cough up the penalty again. There were a couple of decisions that I was a bit frustrated at, but ultimately it's down to us, and we're not going to worry too much about that because we can't. We'll look at ourselves and sort ourselves out.